Horse set it down and picked up a small hammer. It was made of some kind of shiny metal. This is titanium magnesium alloy hammer. He gestured to the taper head that came to a little striking surface. Perfectly balanced to maximize the force applied. You can tap a needle into a plank, or drive a 10-pointy nail through a 2x4 in 2 hits. I can bang robots all day. He snickered at Goldenblood. After all, it's not the size that counts, it's how you use it. I'm fairly certain that you didn't call me here to make an innuendo about your hammer, Goldenblood replied with a larger hint of annoyance. Horse chuckled. Nope, good sir. Not without a few mugs of cider in me, at least. He picked up the next tool in his mouth and tossed it to Goldenblood. It was a tiny crystalline hammer about the size of my hoof. That is a force talisman used by my horn assistants. It can apply up to 10 kilomax of force in an area ranging from a decimeter to a diameter down to 1 millimeter. Why do you insist on using France units? He groaned. What's wrong with the equestrian standard? You tell me why we have 12 inches in a foot instead of 13, and why there are 16 ounces in a pound instead of 15, and I'll get back to you on that, Horse replied. Goldenblood set the talisman down in the row. Do you see the pattern? Horse asked as he gestured to the tools. Yes. Each one is more efficient than the last. More power, greater ease, less mass, Goldenblood replied. Bingo. I love working with smart ponies, he laughed, then grinned as he tapped the empty table next to the talisman. So, Goldenblood, what do you imagine belongs here? Goldenblood stared at the empty table, then looked up at the grinning buck. Whatever you're about to show me. Goldie, you know me too well. Horse chuckled as he reached under the table and lifted a tiny silver cube in his mouth. He set it on the table at the place where he had gestured. Ta-da! That's a hammer. Indeedly it is, he said as he took out a spark battery and a weird device with light bulb thingies attached. You know how this star metal stuff only reacts to one specific frequency? Well, watch it. What it does when we apply a little bit of magical power at that frequency, but modify the amplitude. He turned a few knobs. Goldenblood winced. Ugh, I hate that noise. Funny, I wasn't hearing anything at all. Then there was a ping, and the quarter-inch thick metal plate next to the cube indented. And then it indented again, then again. And then it struck so hard it knocked out a perfectly round chunk of the quarter-inch steel. Horse grinned like a kid with a toy. See? Hammer. Then he looked at the dials. Or saw, drill, cutting torch. Really, it's a lot of hit and miss trying to figure out what the precise amplitude patterns will get the metal to react to. But it does. Energy in, amplitude to decide what effect you want, and energy out. Interesting. Goldenblood breathed softly. Most interesting. And how do you explain this phenomenon? Any theories about where it comes from? This metal isn't precisely a metal. He lifted it with a grin. It's a solid-state tool that can do whatever you want it to do, if you know how to interact with this stuff. We're just figuring that part out. As for where it came from, ancient zebra kind might have somehow developed this level of wonder technology, but I highly doubt it. This kind of tech would have left some kind of record or something. Nope. I posit that it came from somewhere else. He grinned broadly. Have you ever heard the zebra myth of the Eater of the Stars? Eater of the Souls, Goldenblood corrected. And yes, I have. As the myth goes. Horse chuckled, and he started to juggle the ball-peen hammer, the titanium hammer, and the little silver cube. Yeah. Big nasty creatures from the stars, blah blah blah, death warming, gloom and doom, blah blah blah, stars are bad, evil, wicked things, blah blah blah. Only I think that in at least one of those cases, when what hit the ground wasn't just some rock from the heavens, but a device from an unknown world. A device from a race thousands, no, millions of years more advanced than us. Corroboration? Goldenblood asked. The yellow earth pony grinned immediately. Then he reached under the table and pulled out a strange, sleek metal weapon. I wondered if the tingling mane sensation was mine or his. A star blaster. How on earth did you get your hooves on a star blaster? I couldn't get Luna or Rainbow Dash to turn one over to me. The one used for Starfall was under MOA, strict control. I know a pony who knows a pony, Horse said, rubbing his nose. You'll note the similarities in the metal, the way they feel, of course. The Star Blaster has a lot more primitive in function. Pull the trigger and watch it go. Both the similarities are astounding. The star metal seems to be able to create magical fields of power and then use magic and natural energy to do whatever it does. He tapped the weapon. Clearly, both of these devices are non-terrestrial in origin. The zebra myth just explains the impact of the original device. It may explain more than that. Goldenblood frowned as he rose. Well, clearly this was quite a breakthrough. You have my thanks. Thanks? Goldie, Goldie, Goldie. Thanks is nice. Really. You're a great pony to get thanks from. But as much as I love thanks, and I do, I really do, I need something more substantial. I mean, if I invested a great deal of personal time, effort, and resources into this silver beauty, I can't do a little off-the-books side project if there's not going to be at least a cookie in it for me. You want money. Money. You sound like those hippocampic jerk-offs. Fuck money. I have money. I have all the toys the money can buy. I have a sweetie bot. I have a piece of very, very naughty weaponry from the stars. Money's nice, but I don't really care about it. Nope. He grinned. What I want is what you want. I want a backstage pass to the concert. I want to play the game and see just how well I can play it. I want you to deal me in. Goldenblood smiled slowly. I'll see what I can do. Ho 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 ho. Horse shivered. I can just imagine what you can do. Then he grinned. Oh, and don't worry, if some nasty zebra baddie whacks me, or something major happens to me, like I fall down an elevator shaft, I've made sure all my findings go straight to the ministries. His grin widened a little more as Goldenblood stared at him. Horse trot over and tapped some keys on a terminal. A grainy video appeared showing Goldenblood slowly backing a pony towards the shaft. The rail swung wide, and the mare disappeared over the edge. Goldenblood stood there. A moment later, her hooves disappeared. Really? An elevator shaft? What, were you struck by the urge to become a daring-do villain? Goldenblood stared at him for almost a minute. Finally, the scarred pony smiled. Like I said, I'll see what I can do. Suddenly, Sweetiebot perked up. Oh, great and wonderful master. The stallions accompanying Director Goldenblood have received an urgent message for him. They're quite insistent. Horse frowned and pushed a button, showing the foyer and the two bucks yelling at the flustered receptionist. Huh. Looks like you're a stud in demand, Goldie. Together they trotted out, Goldenblood giving the Star Blaster a wistful look as they left the hidden lab and emerged in the conference room. Quickly, Goldenblood headed in the direction of the shouting. A yellow stallion held his ear bloom and nodded his head as the brown buck traded glares with the receptionist. As they spotted the director, the two sat up. Sir, there's been an incident in Manhattan. Applejack is dead. The receptionist gasped. Goldenblood looked at her. There was a flare from his horn, and she suddenly went glassy-eyed and slumped out of sight behind the desk. What? Horse gasped. That is... Oh, not cool. Goldenblood stared at him. and for a moment I was certain he was next. Stop standing there and get that confirmed. Goldenblood snapped at the brown buck. Then he looked at his yellow escort. Luna's been informed. The stallion nodded. He's asking for a temporary replacement until Applejack's status is confirmed. There is no replacement for Applejack. I need all 6 of them, Goldenblood said sharply. Then he turned and looked back at the stunned stallion. He seemed to be making a decision. You want in on the game, horse? What? Me? Ministry Mare or Stallion? He stammered. On a temporary basis. If Applejack really is dead, then there will have to be adjustments. He said as he looked away. Horse just grinned. All right, Goldie. You got yourself a deal. Goldenblood looked back at Horse. Oh, I certainly did. And if you're so keen on playing Horse, I'd clean out your records when you get back. He turned for the doors and snapped the yellow escort. I need a skywagon. Now. We need to get in place before news gets out. The ministries are going to be shaken and the OIA needs to be ready. Come on, Horse. We're going to Canterlot. Cool. Horse grinned as they stepped on the elevator together. Hope Applejack is okay, though. She is one cool mare. You'd better hope so as well. If she is dead, I'll have to find out who's responsible and remove them just to be safe. Odds are I'll have to include you as well. He said grimly. Horse's smile disappeared, and the world swirled away. I came out of the memory orb feeling ugly. A Goldenblood memory, planted in a safe where I probably would have come across it. And if I hadn't, odds were one of my friends would. I lay there on the bed, trying to ignore the burny, itchy sensation of my face. It made me feel like I had rad roaches wiggling under my skin. I felt the pull of gauze and listened to the beeping of the monitors. Dealer freaks out just as I find it and tells me to stop and quit. And if there were even an option anymore. Horse talks about the star metal as some sort of uber technology from aliens or something. I didn't believe in coincidence anymore. Zamboni had wanted me to see that. Dealer hadn't. How had he known? Really, how did the dealer know anything? The golden color of the memory orb, maybe? Maybe. Unfortunately, since I couldn't buck the dealer while lying all woogly on a bed, I did my best to look around. Funny, my EFS was doing freaky things. There were scrolling lines of data, as if it had been doing the techno-pokey. I wished, yet again, that I had midnight nearby to explain just what my pip-buck was doing. It flashed the data. Then a prompt appeared. EC-1101 navigational data updated. Next waypoint. High Tower Transmitter. Oofington. I'd been put in a hospital bed. One with musty-smelling sheets. Next to the bed was a table lined with heavy books. Equestrian legal statutes. History of the law. And a dozen files sat in stacks. This had to have been Chief Justice Fairheart's room. I glanced around and spotted a security camera in the corner of the room, up against the ceiling. Had EC-1101 found the camera, checked the footage, and determined she was dead? Could it do that? Had Dealer been involved? I groaned and clenched my eyes shut. Too many fucking questions! I snarled as I slammed in my pillow. I levitated over and over the top file, wondering what Chief Justice of Equestria was up to right before the bombs fell, and made everything moot. My eyes scanned from page to page, and then I looked at the title. Legal Review for the Removal of the Ministry Mayors from Power for Crimes Against Equestria. What the fuck?